Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. Hoping y'all can hear all the blackbirds. They're going nuts. But today's video, we are going to be talking about 6.5 PRC. So, in the initial video, I kind of went over basically the project, what we're trying to accomplish, yeah, all of that fun stuff. So go back, watch that video. We shot some factory ammo. We shot the 143 grain ELDX that's loaded in the Hornady Precision Hunter factory ammunition. Didn't really have super great results. They're going nuts. Didn't have great results with that stuff. I mean, it wasn't terrible. The group that y'all saw, the first 20 round box, wasn't that great. I had 2 boxes. The second 20 round box wasn't as bad. It put all 20 shots within, it was like a 2.5 inch group. So not terrible. Basically what I've come to expect out of factory ammunition. So. But the bullet for the project that we're working on is the Spear 140 grain gold dot. So here's all the information. I got the sun just beating down on me. There we go. So there's all the pertinent information for the loading. So there's the rifle. It's the Ruger M77 Hawkeye. It's the long range hunter version with the Zerotech Thrive HD optic on top. It's the illuminated version, pretty nice. The powder that we went with is Vitavori N565, so premium powder, premium rifle, pretty good scope from what I'm looking at in terms of price range. I think they have it listed on their website for like $650. My buddy picked this one up on sale for less than $400, so not a cheap scope by any means, but it's not a night force. It'll get the job done. Brass is the Hornady once fire brass that we collected after shooting all the factory ammo, and then we're using CCI large rifle magnum primers. Our cartridge overall length 2.9, cartridge based ogive if you care. Yeah, so we'll get into it. So very underwhelmed, and I got a squirrel running around over here on my back porch. He hangs out. He was actually right out here sunning just a minute ago, and I freaked him out and he took off. So yeah, so really underwhelmed at the velocities, and I'll kind of explain what happened here, because there's no load data for this combination. Okay, none whatsoever. So Spear doesn't have 6.5 PRC load data. Vitavori, they don't have load data for 140 grain Spear gold dot. So it's one of those situations where you find yourself collecting data, right? Gathering data from multiple sources and just trying to piece something together. Okay, so that's basically what we did in this case. This is Vitavori's load data, Lapua, same difference. They have N565 for the 135 grain A-tip, the 140 grain GMX, which is a solid copper, which is why you see such a big discrepancy in the charge weight there compared to the other two. I mean, you have a heavier bullet by 4 grains and it's a higher charge weight. So what this is telling me is that if we were somewhere in that 54 grain range, we're probably approaching what they would consider max. That was basically how I looked at it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take, they say the max with the solid copper's 50, velocity's a little low for a 6.5 PRC, but we'll take that into consideration. And they're saying with 144 grain bullet, their max is 54. So let's work up to 54, start somewhere around the max for the copper, solid copper, and then work up to the max on the 144 grain Burger hybrid. Let's do that and see where that puts us. That way I would be starting, I didn't think this low. I mean, look at the velocity, 2477. We're at 49.5 grains of N565, okay? And we went up in half grain increments, so, oh no. So, oh, let me get my laptop to wake back up. But, so we went up in half grain increments. Really, the only thing that matters is looking at the graph. Everybody loves those pretty little graphs. So yeah, so I went up in half grain increments, and those were the numbers that we were able to achieve. Nothing spectacular at all, nothing to write home about. We're gonna push this further, because with this powder, if we can't get a 140 grain bullet going close to, you know, over 2,900 feet per second, I would think we'd be able to achieve. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But so the plan now is for the next 10 shots. So that was the first 10. The next 10, I think I'm going to step it down. Instead of doing half grain jumps, we're going to go to 0.3. Because if I start at 54.3 and work my way up, on the 10th shot, I believe I'll be ending at 57, which is just under that max for that 135 grain A-tip. So there you go. There's just some first look velocity data. You guys let me know what you think. Am I on the right track as far as the thought process? That was, you know, I didn't think I was starting that low. I mean, I thought the, you know, the thought process I was following, I felt like it was pretty solid. Felt like it would put me somewhere closer to these velocities, you know, something like that. Something over 2,800 I thought is where we would end up. For sure. But so I was definitely shocked when I saw the first number roll in. I was like, well, maybe something's wrong with my chronograph. Let me adjust where I have it positioned and double check. And so I did that, and kept shooting, kept getting these low velocity numbers. I mean, we slowly crept up over time, and then we had an error on 52.5. It just didn't read, so that's why it's blank. But so that's going to be the plan. We're going to load up 54.3 and go in 0.3 of a grain increments until we reach 57, and go from there. And then of course, if we see, you know, major pressure signs before we even get to 57, we'll just cut it off whenever we, you know, whenever things start to get a little hairy. But this is the, yeah, there's the target. So this is actually 243 Winchester. Those three right there are 243 Winchester. And then the other 10, those are all 6.5 PRC. So that was point of aim, point of impact, as we were collecting velocity data. So good stuff there. It looks like it's got some promising results. It looks like this bullet powder combination would probably work out pretty good for what we're trying to accomplish as far as going and killing an elk for my buddy, so he can take it and go kill an elk. So, but that's it. We'll leave it at that. It's just, this is a velocity data video, so you guys can chew on that. Let me know what you think, though. You know, is that, I feel like I'm on the right path. I think working up to 57 is probably, we'll probably see pressure before 57. I just have a feeling, but we're gonna slowly work up and see what we can get to. So that's it. That's where we're gonna leave it. And as I do that, all the birds, as I'm getting ready to stop, all the birds finally fly off and it gets quiet. So, all right, but oh yeah, check out that group. 243 Winchester. This is with the Barnes 80 grain with Hodgson Superformance. Not terrible. You know, it's definitely some stuff we can work with. So, but that's another video. So we'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.